Hello and welcome to Blake Biology. This is Ecology, Food Webs, Chains, and the Trophic Levels Explained. I'm Dylan. I'm going to be taking you through this. The first thing we're going to talk about is the trophic structure. This is basically the feeding relationships between organisms in the community. And of course the community is different species that are interacting with each other. Here we have two pyramids. One has examples of different organisms and their respective trophic levels, and the other just is a fairly basic explaining the different levels and the energy transfer. So when we go from a lower level to a higher level, there is a transfer of energy, and it's about 10% of what the energy from the previous level, and the other 90% was actually lost as heat, as we can see. So the very first trophic level is the primary producers. These are autotrophs, which are plants, and this is the only level that receives their energy from the sun. Of course, we know that plants make their own food using photosynthesis from CO2 in the air, converting water, CO2, using sunlight, and producing oxygen and glucose for themselves. This trophic level has the largest biomass, and this is because it has to provide enough energy for all of the other trophic levels. The second trophic level is the primary consumers. These are all herbivores, meaning that they eat plants. They feed on the first trophic level, and this is where they receive their energy. Now, the primary consumers are prey to the secondary consumers, and this is the third trophic level. Usually, not all the time, these are carnivores that feed on the second trophic level, and this is where they receive their energy. And again, now these are prey to the tertiary and quaternary consumers, and these are the fourth and fifth trophic levels. These organisms usually are carnivores or omnivores. They have a very wide range of diet. Bears, for example, eat berries and salmon, as well as many other things. These are usually high-level species, high-level organisms, meaning they're more complex. They aren't simple like insects. So now, after looking at all of the different levels, we see that we have actually started to create a food chain, starting from the primary producers, working all the way up to the tertiary and quaternary consumers. And so then we also look at here, these are the decomposers, also called detrivores. They decompose organic matter, which is like when other organisms have died, they will get broken down by decomposers, and the nutrients from these organisms, the carcasses, will be returned back into the soil for plants. Here we are looking at food webs. Basically, these are food chains that are overlapped or linked together with other food chains. This is more realistic in nature than a basic food chain. Here we have an ocean food web. We see here it's very complex, many different relationships between all of the different organisms in here. And we're going to look here at a little bit more simple one. This one is from your AP Bio textbook. It starts off fairly basic with the plants at the bottom. This is of course the first trophic level. It works up into the second trophic level, which includes rabbits, mice, and seed-eating birds, for example. But after this level, it gets a little bit more complicated, because we see that snake, if we look at the snake in the top right corner, it fills several different trophic levels. It fills a third trophic level, should it eat mice or the seed-eating birds, but it also fills a fourth and a fifth trophic level by eating these insectivorous birds, toads, and it also eats the predaceous insects. So it actually fills a whole bunch of different trophic levels. So we see that this food chain is fairly easy to follow, this food web. We see, just for one example, look at one chain. We have the first trophic level as the plants. The second level is the herbivorous insects. A third trophic level could include spiders. A fourth trophic level could be the insectivorous birds, and a fifth level could be snakes or hawks and owls. And that's just one food chain in the many other different food chains that are in this web. This has been Food Chains, Webs, and the Trophic Levels explained. I hope that was helpful.